This is London, the home of Apple. The Apple concept is to bring together the artists of today with the methods and media of tomorrow.
In 1967, the Beatles founded Apple Corp, a conglomerate that would allow them to support multiple artistic outlets. Their business ventures would now include films, retail, studios, and whatever bogus inventions Magic Alex came up with. 2 of the 9 films they produced were the personal projects of Ringo Starr: Born to Boogie, his directorial debut concert film showcasing T-Rex, and Son of Dracula, a rock and roll horror film. Whilst the former has been restored and re-released on DVD and Blu-ray, the latter has never even gotten a VHS release, as Ringo has hidden it from the public eye. Is this film really that bad, or a hidden gem? Hello and welcome to Enchanted Essays. Today I'm reviewing the 1974 film Son of Dracula. I was originally just going to review this film, but the script was such a mess that I felt compelled to write a video essay about it. I'll post that next time, but I thought I'd start with a quick little spoiler-free review, so that you can decide if you want to suffer through it yourself before you watch my video. Son of Dracula, not to be confused with the 1943 Universal horror film of the same name, stars Harry Nilsson as Count Down, the son of Dracula, who has just come of age and is about to be crowned the king of the Netherworld. However, he's more interested in rock and roll and has instantly fallen in love with occult expert Amber. As I said, I'll go in depth into the script's failings next time, but it's really bad. There's little attempts at humour and the plot is a complete mess. Whilst I could excuse one or the other, I can't excuse both. The music is fantastic. As someone who had only heard a handful of Nilsson songs outside of Pandemonium Shadow Show and Pussycats, I really enjoyed discovering the songs from Nilsson, Schmilsson and Son of Schmilsson in this movie. All of them were new to me apart from Without You. These are some great tracks, and the performances are the highlight of the film, although I wish You're Breaking My Heart was on here too.
You're breaking my heart, you're tearing it apart so far.
However, I'm not sure if the soundtrack would make it a better or worse experience for established fans, as it's nothing new for them. The only original track is Daybreak, which is later covered by his friend and ex-monkey Mickey Dolenz, which is also a good tune. I don't think Nilsson was bad. Then again, with the amount of conflict in this movie, he had very little to do. It's something a more experienced actor would probably try and make more out of, but Nilsson's performance is fine. Then again, Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees have probably really lowered the bar for me in terms of musicians acting in movies. Unsurprisingly, he's at his best during his musical performances. There is very little footage of Nilsson performing, as he never toured, giving this film extra value to fans. Ringo's performance isn't bad, but he can't exactly act that much under all that hair. Out of all the films I've seen Ringo in, I don't know why this film in particular sounded like he was telling Count Down and Baron Frankenstein about the island of Sodor.
I am able to converse for moments at a time without losing my astrological vision. King Arthur would never believe me. However, I am still concerned with this as yet.
This character doesn't do that much and he doesn't get much screen time. Freddie Jones is rather good as the villainous Baron Frankenstein. In fact, that's probably how I describe the rest of the supporting cast. They play their parts well, but they certainly can't redeem the movie. Fun fact, Countdown's chauffeur, Brian, is played by the late David Bailey, who played that mute pirate with the parrot in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Dennis Price, who played Van Helsing in his final role, also played Louis in Kind Hearts and Coronets. I don't think anyone else is going to find that interesting but me, but there you go. I can see why this had a life in midnight movie screenings, as it's the right combination of dark and weird. And it might be a fun one to watch with your mates, but I definitely preferred the previous 2 Ringo movies I reviewed. Those were both very hit and miss, but they were certainly comedies. It's mainly just Harry Nilsson fans and a few Ringo fans who are aware this film even existed. And you can see from the comments under the upload that a lot of people enjoy this film, even if it is hard to find. It's essentially a found piece of lost media. After a 2-year delay, the film had a limited release and Ringo refused to release the film on any home media. There's an old VHS rip that's really poor quality, but is still watchable, that was uploaded to YouTube nearly a decade ago. There's also been a fan restoration from this year of that version. It's a bit strange looking, like it's gone through some kind of painting filter, but it is much clearer. Let me know which version you prefer in the comments. Whilst I still doubt it will ever be officially released to streaming or home media, I know there is a small audience crying out for a restored, or at least better quality version of the film. Personally, unless you're a really big Nilsson fan, I think you can skip this film and just listen to the soundtrack album instead. It's been uploaded to YouTube and is a combination of songs and snippets of dialogue from the film accompanied by the soundtrack. The thin plot actually works far better in this format. I also really want the vinyl now because it opens up like a cape like this and it looks really cool. I'm glad I watched it because I ended up really getting into Nilsson as a result, and I'm going to get 2 videos out of it. But I definitely wouldn't recommend it. If you want to see my in-depth video essay about the film, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss it. If you want me to watch me review a much weirder film starring Ringo, then you can watch my review of The Magic Christian here. See you soon!
Well, I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before.
Have you ever been to jail?